Nobody is coming to save you from your own procrastination. Think about this morning. Your alarm went off. Maybe you hit snooze once, maybe 3 times. You finally got up, opened your phone, checked some things that did not matter, told yourself you would get to the important stuff soon. Then soon became after breakfast. After breakfast became after just one more video. And now it is late in the day, and that one big thing, the thing you knew you needed to do, is still sitting there, untouched, staring at you. And that low hum of guilt has been running in the background of your entire day. You are not alone in this, not even close. Studies show that roughly 88% of people procrastinate every single day. 88%. That means almost 9 out of 10 people you see today went to sleep last night with something important undone. This is not a you problem. This is a human problem. But here is the difference. Most people will never do anything about it. They will just keep feeling guilty, keep pushing things back, keep wondering why their life is not moving the way they imagined it would. But you are still here. And by the time this video ends, you are going to have one specific, ruthlessly practical morning habit that the highest performing people in the world use to make sure their most important work actually gets done. No matter what. Not a theory, not a mindset shift, a real habit you can start tomorrow morning. Stay with me. Let us be honest about what is actually happening here, because the story you have been telling yourself, that you are lazy, that you lack willpower, that some people just have discipline and you do not, that story is completely wrong. And the people who benefit most from you believing that story are the ones who built the systems around you. Your phone is not designed to help you focus. It is designed to fragment your attention into the smallest possible pieces so that advertisers can reach you in as many moments as possible. Every app on your device has a team of engineers who wake up every morning thinking about how to make sure you open the app one more time today. Your social feed does not show you things in order. It shows you things in the sequence most likely to keep you scrolling. The outrage, the drama, the comparison, the fear of missing out. None of that is accidental. It is the product, and it goes beyond the phone. School never taught you how to prioritize. Your parents probably modeled busyness, not strategic focus. Society grades you on how much you did, not whether you did the right thing. You have been swimming in a world that trains you to react to emails, to notifications, to other people's urgency, and nobody ever sat you down and said, here is how you decide what actually matters, and here's how you make sure it gets done first. So no, this is not laziness. This is a rigged game. But here is the good news. Once you know the rules of the game, you can change how you play it. Here is what you need to understand. The ability to tackle your hardest, most important task first is not a personality trait. It is not something Brian Tracy was born with. It is a skill, a learnable, practicable, improvable skill. And like every skill, the first time feels awkward and the 100th time feels natural. Think about the first time you went to the gym. If you had never lifted before, picking up a weight felt strange. Your muscles were weak. You got tired fast. Maybe you felt a little embarrassed, but you went back. And slowly, the weight that once exhausted you became your warm-up weight. Your brain works exactly the same way. The ability to sit down with your most uncomfortable task and work through it without running away is a muscle. Right now, it might be weak. That does not mean it cannot grow. The book that breaks this down better than anything I have ever read is Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. Tracy is one of the most studied experts on time management and personal effectiveness in the world. He has coached millions of people, written dozens of books, and this one, this slim, no-fluff, completely practical book, might be the most important thing you read this year. The core idea is simple, but it will reframe your entire relationship with your day. Let me walk you through it. The title comes from a Mark Twain quote. Twain said that if the first thing you do each morning is eat a live frog, you can go through the rest of the day knowing the worst is already behind you. Your frog is your biggest, most important, most avoided task. The one you keep putting off. The one that actually matters most to your goals. And Tracy's entire philosophy is this. Eat it first. Do not think about it. Do not prepare to do it. Do not get your environment perfect first. Do the hard thing first, before everything else, and watch what happens to the rest of your day. Now let us get into the real lessons, because this is where it gets practical. Most people make their to-do lists completely wrong. They write down everything. Reply to emails, do laundry, finish the report, call mom, buy groceries, and then they spend the day knocking off the easy stuff because it feels good to cross things off. Checking email feels productive. Organizing your desktop feels productive. Making the bed and then studying for 20 minutes and calling that a good morning feels productive. But none of it moves the needle on what actually matters. Tracy introduces a system he calls ABCDE prioritization. You look at everything on your list and you ask one ruthless question. What is the task that will have the biggest consequence if it does not get done? That is your A task. That is your frog. Everything else is secondary. Not unimportant, secondary. The problem is, most people spend 90% of their time on C and D tasks and wonder why their A tasks never get done. Think about a student with an exam in 3 days, a part-time job shift, a friend's birthday dinner, and a Netflix show they are in the middle of. Every single one of those things will feel urgent at some point, but only one of them has a real consequence attached to it. Only one of them can actually change the trajectory of their life that week. The exam is the frog. Everything else can wait or be adjusted, but the frog has to get eaten first. Ek kaam karo aaj. Tonight, look at everything you need to do tomorrow and circle the one thing with the biggest real consequence. Just one. That is your frog. Write it at the top of your list and make a commitment to yourself that it gets done before anything else tomorrow morning. Like in Sun, knowing your frog and actually eating it are two completely different things. And this is where most people fall apart. They identify the hard thing. They intend to do it. And then they sit down in front of it and their brain immediately starts screaming for an exit. Suddenly they are very thirsty. Suddenly the desk needs to be cleaner. Suddenly they need to just check one thing real quick. Tracy talks about this and he is very direct about it. He says the key to eating your frog is to stop thinking and start doing. The moment you sit down with your task, start working. Not planning to work, not getting ready to work, working. Because here is the science. Your brain's resistance to a task is always highest before you start and drops significantly within the first 2 minutes of actually doing it. The dread is almost always worse than the task itself. I will be honest with you. I used to spend the first 45 minutes of my supposed work sessions organizing my workspace, making coffee, and convincing myself I was about to start. I was doing everything except the actual thing. When I started forcing myself to open the document or the book or whatever the task was before I did anything else, before I even made coffee, everything changed. The first 60 seconds were uncomfortable. Then I was in it. ABCDE, tomorrow morning, whatever your frog is, open it before you do anything else. Before coffee, before your phone, before breakfast. Just open it and write one sentence or make one move. That is all. Let the momentum carry you from there. Ab aate hain to something that will completely change how you plan your days. Tracy talks about working from a clear written plan every single day, not a mental list, a written one. Because here is what research consistently shows. People who write their goals down are significantly more likely to achieve them than people who just keep them in their head. Writing makes it real. Writing creates commitment. Writing externalizes the goal so your brain can focus on executing it instead of remembering it. His recommendation is simple. The night before, not the morning of, but the night before, write down the 6 most important things you need to do tomorrow. Just 6. Then number them in order of priority with your frog at the top. When you wake up the next morning, you do not have to think. You already decided. You just execute. That removal of morning decision-making is more powerful than it sounds because decision-making drains mental energy. Every choice you make in the morning costs you focus that you need for your frog. Eliminate the choices and you protect the focus. Yemat Karo, do not make your task list in the morning. You will make it when your brain is already being pulled in 5 directions and you will default to the easy tasks. Make it the night before when you have clarity about what tomorrow actually needs. Aaj raat, before you sleep, write 6 things. Number them. Put your frog at number 1. That 10-minute act will make tomorrow 20 times more effective than today was. Yahan ek aur cheez hai that most people completely ignore, the concept of key result areas. Tracy says that in every job, every role, every area of life, there are only a small number of tasks that actually produce the results you care about. In school, studying the right material in the right way is a key result area. Going to class and pretending to take notes is not. In a career, the skill you are developing and the relationships you are building are key result areas. Answering low-priority emails is not. The problem is, humans naturally gravitate toward what is comfortable and familiar, not toward what is actually important. You will reorganize your notes instead of testing yourself on them because reorganizing feels productive and testing yourself feels scary. You will respond to messages instead of working on your actual skill because messages have a clear endpoint and skill development feels open-ended and uncertain. Tracy pushes you to constantly ask yourself, right now, in this moment, what is the highest value use of my time? Not what feels comfortable, not what seems urgent. What will produce the most meaningful result? Get in the habit of asking that question 3 times a day, and it will start to restructure how you spend every hour. Ek kaam karo. Set a reminder on your phone right now for 3 times tomorrow. Label it highest value use of time. Every time it goes off, stop and honestly answer the question. You do not have to change what you are doing. Just notice. Awareness is the first step to changing the pattern. Ab ye suno. There is one principle in this book that I think is the most underrated idea in all of personal development. Tracy calls it the law of 3. He says that in any area of your life, there are only 3 things that produce 80% of your results. 3, not 20, not 10, 3. And most people spend most of their time on the other 17 things wondering why they are not getting anywhere. In your studies, it might be focused review sessions, consistent practice testing, and sleep. Not highlighting, not rereading, not watching video summaries. 3 things. In your health, it might be sleep, movement, and what you eat in the first half of the day. Not the specific supplement, not the exact workout program, not the perfect meal prep container. 3 things. The exercise Tracy recommends is to ask yourself, if I could only do 3 things in this area of my life, which 3 would produce the most results? Write them down, then ask whether your actual daily behavior matches those 3 things. For most people, there is a massive gap between what they know matters most and what they actually spend time on. Closing that gap is where transformation happens. Search about your studies or your career right now. What are your 3? If you are honest with yourself, you probably already know. The question is whether you are protecting time for them or letting everything else crowd them out. Aji, just identify your 3. Write them somewhere visible. You do not have to restructure your entire life today. Just know what they are. Lekin ye bhi sun, Tracy is very clear that none of this works without something he calls the momentum principle. He says that every time you complete your most important task first, you get a shot of energy, confidence, and motivation that carries you through the rest of the day. And every time you avoid your most important task, you carry a low-grade anxiety and guilt that drains everything else. The frog is not just the task. It is the emotional weight you are either releasing or carrying. Think about a day when you did the hard thing first. Maybe you had a difficult conversation you had been avoiding and you finally had it. Maybe you submitted something you had been putting off for weeks. Do you remember how the rest of that day felt? There is a lightness to it, a confidence. Even if nothing else went perfectly that day, you felt okay because the thing that mattered got done. Now compare that to days when you avoided the frog all day and went to bed knowing it was still waiting for you. The weight of that unfinished thing is heavier than the work itself ever was. Tracy calls this the victory feeling, and he says the whole point of eating your frog first is not just getting the task done, it is building a daily habit of feeling like a winner. Because people who feel like winners keep taking winner actions, and people who feel behind keep making behind feeling decisions. The frog changes your psychology, not just your to-do list. ABC, if you have one thing you have been avoiding for more than 3 days, commit right now to making it your frog tomorrow. Write it down, say it out loud, make it real. That decision, made right now, already starts shifting something in you. Let me tell you about someone whose story lives in me every time I want to avoid my own frog. There is a woman described in productivity research, a single mother working 2 jobs while taking online courses to finish her degree. She had every legitimate excuse in the world to not get things done. No time, no energy, no quiet space at home, no support system nearby. She discovered the Eat the Frog method through a workshop and decided to try one thing. She started waking up 45 minutes earlier than her kids and using that window before the chaos of the morning began, exclusively for her coursework. Just 45 minutes. Nothing else in that window. In the first week, it was brutal. She was already exhausted and losing sleep felt cruel, but she noticed something by day 5. Because her most important task was done before her day officially began, she stopped carrying that background guilt through her shifts and her commute and her evenings. She felt clearer, more present with her kids, less resentful of the demands on her time. Within 4 months, she had completed more coursework than she had in the previous year and a half combined. Not because she had more time, because she stopped letting everything else eat the time that belonged to her most important thing. Deco, if someone with that much working against her could create 45 minutes for her frog every single day, what is your honest excuse? I am not asking that to make you feel bad. I am asking it because the answer is probably nothing. The only thing standing between you and that result is the decision to start. Here is your challenge. It is small enough that you have absolutely no excuse not to do it. Tonight, before you go to sleep, write down one task, your frog for tomorrow. One specific task that you know matters most and that you have probably been putting off. Set your alarm for 30 minutes earlier than usual. And tomorrow morning, when that alarm goes off, before your phone, before coffee, before anything, open that task and spend those 30 minutes on it. Just 30 minutes. That is all. No one can say they do not have 30 minutes. Aaj raat ye karo. And here's what will happen. When those 30 minutes are done and your frog is at least partially eaten, you will feel something you have not felt in a long time. You will feel like you are in control of your day instead of being controlled by it. That feeling is not motivation. Motivation comes and goes. That feeling is evidence. Evidence that you can do this. Evidence that the person you want to be is already inside you, just waiting for the right system to let them out. Obviously, that system starts tonight. Now I want you to imagine something. Close your eyes for a second if you want. Imagine 6 months from now, you have been eating your frog every morning. Not perfectly. Some days you miss. Some days the frog is smaller than it should be. But consistently, you have been doing your most important work first, every day, before the noise of the world gets in. In your studies or your career, imagine what you have built. The project you finally finished. The skill you actually developed because you protected time for it. The grade, the promotion, the portfolio, the business idea that actually moved forward because it was not the thing that kept getting pushed to tomorrow. Imagine the confidence of knowing you are someone who follows through. In your relationships, imagine being actually present. Because when your frog is done, you are not carrying that background guilt into your conversations. You are not half listening while thinking about the thing you did not do. You are there, laughing fully, listening deeply, giving people the version of you that is not weighted down by undone work. And inside, imagine that quiet. Not the absence of challenges, not a perfect life. Just the steady, honest peace of someone who knows they are spending their time on what actually matters. That is not a luxury. That is what you are capable of. Tum ye kar sakte ho, starting tonight. Because here's what I know about you. You did not watch this entire video because you are lazy. Lazy people do not spend time looking for better ways to live. You watch this because something in you knows you are capable of more and you are tired of the gap between where you are and where you know you could be. Tum capable ho. You always were. The only thing missing was not discipline, not talent, not time. It was a clear system and the courage to start it. You have the system now. The courage part is just a decision. If this video hit something real for you, hit the like button. It takes 1 second and it helps someone else who needs this find it. Subscribe to Book Brief Hub because every single week we break down books like this into real, usable, life-changing lessons that you can actually apply. And share this with one person, just one, who you know has a frog they have been avoiding. Your frog is waiting. Go eat it.